Good afternoon, everyone. This is Miss North, and I'm going to be giving you a lesson today on how to make a web page. There are only two programs that you need to have in order to make a web page. You need a text editor such as Notepad or WordPad, and Simple Text if you're on an Apple computer. And you need a web browser. You do not need to be connected to the internet. That's the really great thing about when you're creating a web page. You don't actually have to be connected to the internet. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up my text editor, and I'm on a Windows computer, so I'm going to open up Notepad. Just going to go down here to search, type in Notepad, and I'm going to open up Notepad and bring it to full screen. And we are going to do our coding right here in Notepad. This is what we use to type in our HTML code. In order to create a web page, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with what's known as wickets. It's the less than and greater than sign on our keyboard. Anything that we encase in the less than and greater than sign, or the wickets, is what the browser is going to interpret as code or instructions for what to do. And we call these tags. The very first tag that we're going to put on the web page is called our doc type. The doc type tells the browser what version of HTML we're working with, and we're going to work with HTML5, which is the latest standard of HTML. So I'm going to say wicket, exclamation point, all caps, DOC, doc type, TYPE. So I've already typed my wicket. The doc type is going to start out with the exclamation point and then all caps. And dot type is going to be the only code you're going to type in uppercase. Everything else has to be lowercase. So then I'm going to do space, HTML, and I'm going to close my wicket. So we've just typed our first bit of code, and we told the browser that this is going to be an HTML5 document. The next line, I'm going to hit enter. The next tag that we're going to put on our web page is the HTML tag. You can see I'm going to do wicket HTML. And I close my wicket. And this tells the browser, this tag tells the browser that we are using HTML. And this is the web language that we're creating. Now, most of our elements or tags are going to come in two halves. There's going to be an open, which is the start tag, and then there's going to be a close, which tells it to stop. I've opened my HTML tag right here. This is my open HTML tag. Now I need to close my HTML tag. So it's going to be the very last tag I put on my web page. And if I don't close it now, chances are I might forget to do it. So I'm just going to give myself some space here. And I am going to go ahead and close my HTML tag. And open and close tag look very similar. But the only difference is on a close tag, we're going to put a slash. So I've got my open tag right here. And now I'm going to do my close tag. I'm going to do wicket / HTML, and then my close wicket. So now you can see that I've got my open tag and I've got my close tag. And they are identical to each other except for that slash. Now I'm going to go back up underneath my HTML tag. Now the next tag I'm going to put on my web page is called a head tag. So I've got a wicket, the word head, and then my close wicket. And the head section creates a section of code that the browser is going to read, but is not actually going to appear on the web page. So next line, I press my enter key. The next tag that I'm going to put on my web page is the title tag. So if you've ever been in an Internet Explorer and you looked up at the web page and there's that blue bar, kind of looks like this right here. It says Google. There's some text up there, and that's the title of the web page. So the text goes up there on that bar, and because the web designer put the title element in the tag. So I will for what I want to appear on that as the title of my web page is Introduction to Me. So I'm going to do my title tag, which is Wicket title, close, Introduction to Me. And then I'm going to close it. The only difference between an open tag and a closed tag, remember, is that slash. When I start something, I've got to stop it. So that's the only thing we're going to put in our head section. So I closed my head section. So I'm going to put head / head close. So I'm all done with the information that the browser needs to read, and I'm ready to actually start creating my web page. I'm going to enter just a couple of times to give myself a little room. And I'm going to open what's known as a body tag. So I'm going to go ahead and do my body tag. So it's Wicket body, close Wicket. The body tag is going to encase everything that the user is going to see, hear, or watch on the actual web page in their browser. The body tag is two-sided and does need to be closed. So it's going to get closed right above my closed HTML tag. So I'm going to click right above my closed HTML tag and do close body tag. So I'm going to do Wicket / body Wicket. So again, if I don't do that now, I may forget. So it's just good to go ahead and take care of it so you don't forget it. So I am officially coding now, and I'm actually ready to put some content into my web page. So I'm going to use what is known as the H1 tag, and I'm going to go back up here below my body tag, and I'm going to do my H1 tag. H1 stands for heading level, and there are 6 sizes when it comes to heading levels. There's H1, which is the biggest, all the way down to H6, which is the smallest. Normal size default text is about an H4. So this H1 is going to make it appear really big. So I'm going to do my tag, H1, Wicket, and I'm going to put my name, Pamela North. And now I need to close my H1 tag. So I'm going to do Wicket / H1 Wicket. So that's the only thing that I want there. And I want to have my name really big, but I don't want anything else to be really big. So that's why I put the close tag. And now I'm going to hit enter a couple of times, and I'm going to type a paragraph. The tag to create a paragraph is just simply P. And my paragraph is going to say, so we're going to say Wicket, P, Wicket. I am a teacher at Georgia Cyber Academy, and I live in Kennesaw, Georgia. And then I am going to close my paragraph. So Wicket / P, Wicket. And then I want to add in some more information. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my family. So I am going to do wicket, paragraph, wicket. And I'm going to say I have 4 people in my family. And then I'm going to close my paragraph. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a list of all the people that are in my family. There are a couple of different ways that you can do lists in web pages. You can do what's known as an ordered list, which is going to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you're putting all your people in order. Or you can do an unordered list, which means you don't really care what order they're in. And we also want to do round bullet points to show up. That's the kind of list I want to do to create an unordered list. So we're going to use the unordered list tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my unordered list tag. So I'm going to say wicket, UL, wicket, and then I'm just going to go down a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and close this tag so I don't forget. So I'm going to say wicket /UL, wicket. And then I'm just going to work in between these 2 tags. So right now what we have done is identify to the browser type, the type of list we want to see up here. We haven't actually put anything on the web page. For everything that we want to be in our list, we're going to use what's known as the list item tag. It is the list items tag that's going to make the bullet point come out for the user. You'll notice that most of the time HTML makes sense and the tags are very easy to identify. So we had UL for unordered list, and for list item, what do you think the tag will be? It's going to be LI. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a list of the people in my family. So we'll say LI. We'll do Matthew, Dad, and then we'll close this. And then we'll do the next one. If you want to, you could just copy and paste this. And then we'll do my daughters. I'll do this. LI. So we have made a list of all the people in my family. So when I want to list item is a 2-sided tag, so we need to make sure that we have it open and then we have it closed. So I'm all done with my list, and I'm just going to close up some of this space. So just backspace. And so I have a couple of paragraphs here, and I have my name on here, and I have a list of all the people in my family. And I'm going to save my web page now because now I want to check it out in the browser. To save a web page, we're going to click on File, Save As. And a little bit earlier, I made a folder to save everything in. You should create a folder for your web page and make sure everything associated with your website is saved into that folder. So I'm going to I went to semester 2 Dropbox assignments, and I'm going to do web page. I'm going to open it up, and I am going to save my file as first.html. Now, you can call your file whatever you want, but you need to keep your file names to one word, lowercase, and it's got to be saved as .html. By default, Notepad, WordPad, Simple Text is going to try to save it as a text file because that's the program we're in. When we type the .html, it overrides it. So now I'm going to save, and I'm ready to view my web page in the browser. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to close it. And then I am going to find my file. And next to it, you see that I've got my file right here, and it's got the little icon next to it for Firefox. You may have an E or the Chrome symbol. That just means that that's your default browser. And I'm going to double click this. And then there's my web page right there. It's got my name really big. It's got my first paragraph. I'm a teacher at Georgia Cyber Academy, and I live in Kennesaw, Georgia. And then I have 4 people in my family. And then there's the list of the people in my family. See those bullet points? We made that happen when we used the UL tag and the LI list items tag in combination. And you can look at the top over here, and you can see that I have, it says Introduction to Me. So we have made our first web page. Excellent job, guys.